Okay, this should be much better. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of our two-part series on pitch. In this video, we're going to learn about the musical alphabet, reading notes on the treble clef and bass clef staves, figuring out some ways that we can remember the names of each of those notes on the staves, and then we'll briefly end the video with a discussion on ledger lines. So first, I want to draw your attention to the musical alphabet. Thankfully, it's not nearly as many characters as the English alphabet, and it's simply just this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that's it. So as long as you know that part of the song, you'll automatically know the musical alphabet by default. Bear in mind that once you do reach G, it does repeat to A and then B, C, etc. And I also want to show or give special mention to the relationship between notes that share the same letter name but are at different parts in the alphabet. If you remember from our last discussion about what an octave is, the distance from A to the next A up, that's an octave. Same thing if you were to go from B to this B, or C to C, etc. Okay, so now that we know the musical alphabet, let's talk a little bit about the treble clef staff and the bass clef staff. That's what these symbols mean. And the reason why we have different symbols is that these indicate pitch. All of the higher notes, all the higher frequencies will go here on the treble staff. All of the lower frequencies will go on the bass clef staff. And visually, this is very easy to remember and rather intuitive because treble is above the bass clef in notation as well. So I also now want to draw your attention to the staff itself. Each one, treble and bass, has 5 lines and 4 spaces. And then when we talk about ledger lines, we can extend beyond the staff, either above or below. But now let's get the musical alphabet up onto the treble staff first. There are some notes that are going to be on lines and some notes that are going to be on spaces. I'll use blue to denote lines and orange to denote spaces. So first, with the lines, we have E, G, B, D, and F. And I have down here a handy way to remember it if you want, starting from the bottom up. Every good boy does fine. That's just what I like to use. I know it's a rather common phrase. If you want to use your own, by all means, go ahead and do that. So, every good boy does fine. Those are the lines. And then for the spaces, we have F, A, C, E. And that simply just spells the word face. So that's probably the easiest one to remember. Now, if we go down to the bass clef, we're going to use, again, the blue marker to denote the lines. We're going to start off with G, then B, D, F, A. And the phrase that I like to use for this is, grizzly bears don't fly airplanes. Again, feel free to make up your own if you want. That's just the one that I like using the most. For the spaces, we have A, C, E, G. Phrase I like to use for this is, all cows eat grass. Surely they must, right? They're bovines. So that is all of the lines and all of the spaces for both the treble clef and the bass clef. I want to use take this opportunity to demonstrate the relationship between lines and spaces. So whenever you go to the next letter in the musical alphabet, if you say, for instance, start on an E, which is on a line, you can tell because there is a line going through the letter. If you start on a line, the next letter in the alphabet will have to be on a space, which is F. If you are on a space, the next letter in the alphabet will have to be on a line. So in this case, G, If you go up, or if you go back down, it would be E. Let me play for you this, this pattern. Starting on E, I'm going to play all the way up to this F, so you can hear the relationship as well. Give my piano 1 second to turn on. Turn up the volume just a tad. There we are. I'm going to start on E and go line, space, all the way up to this F. So you notice, as you go higher on the staff, the pitch gets increasingly higher and higher. Similar phenomena happens if you go down on the staff, the pitches will get lower. Now I'm going to show you what each of these notes sounds like on the bass clef staff. Naturally, they're going to sound quite a bit lower. But the pattern of line, space, remains constant. And there you have it. Lines and spaces on the treble and bass clef staff. Let's quickly end the discussion with a brief talk about ledger lines. As I mentioned previously, they help to extend the range of the staff, either treble or bass. And again, it goes beyond the normal 5 lines, 4 spaces. It is a little bit tricky at the beginning because the way to get to a ledger line, we have to go, again, following the pattern of line and space. Say I want to extend beyond the upper reaches of the treble staff. I want a note somewhere up here. To help me find it, I'm going to start at the highest possible point, which is this F on the line, and then the next note in the alphabet has to be a G on a space. And that, use the correct color, and that would be up here. Now, any note that does not have a line going through it is considered to be on a space, such as this G. So now since we're on a space, the next letter in the alphabet would have to be A, not H. So then how to get there? You create just another line, and then right through it, that's where A is going to be. If we were to extend it even further, to the B above this, you would still need to create another line, and then B would be up there. Reaching even further to a C, you would keep that ledger line on the B, then add another one, because again, what follows a space? A line. So then C would go there, etc., etc. And you keep all of the previous ledger lines that you made. The same thing works if you want to go below the staff. If I'm going below, I need to go backwards in the alphabet, so the letter that comes before E is D. Going downward, whatever comes before D should be C, and that's going to be on a line as well. What comes before C is B, and then you can keep going down and down and down until you reach up into the reaches of the bass clef. And then I believe you get the idea. We can do the same thing with the bass clef in the upper reaches of the bass clef or the lower regions of the bass clef. The principle behind ledger lines remains the same, and the pattern between lines and spaces is constant. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to get in touch with me at any time. Music be with you.